Salt secrets revealed. This secret is so salty. White crystals, golden stories. The truth about salt. A product almost everyone uses daily. A pinch over a boiled egg. A generous scoop in pasta water. Or hidden inside a chocolate bar. It seems so ordinary, so natural. A white crystal that is nothing more than salt. But behind that seemingly simple product lies a world full of marketing, illusions, and clever stories. Because nowadays, you're not just buying salt. You're choosing between sea salt, Himalayan salt, Celtic salt, black salt, pink salt, fine or coarse, refined or unrefined. It almost sounds like you're holding a lifestyle, not just a seasoning. The question is, what does all of that really mean? Is Himalayan salt truly better for you? Is sea salt healthier than regular table salt? And what does the word natural even mean when we're talking about a mineral that already comes from nature? The answers are often more surprising and much simpler than the packaging wants you to believe. A long history in a tiny grain salt is one of the oldest substances humans have used. Thousands of years ago, people discovered it did more than just add flavour. It preserved food. Without salt, there would be no pickled vegetables, no hams that last for months, no cheese as we know it today. Whole trade routes were established around salt. Cities grew where salt could be harvested. Wars were fought over it. The word salary even derives from the Latin word for salt, because Roman soldiers were partly paid with it. For a long time, salt was literally worth its weight in gold. But with industrialization, everything changed. What was once scarce is now a bulk product. Massive mines extract salt from the earth, or huge salt pans evaporate seawater into mountains of crystals. What remains is refined, purified, and treated until virtually only sodium chloride is left. Sometimes iodine is added to prevent deficiencies. Sometimes anti-caking agents are included to keep it flowing freely. The result? The familiar table salt you find in supermarkets for just a few cents. Why so many types of salt? Because when you stand in front of the shelf, salt is no longer just one product. There are jars and bags that cost 10, 20, even 50 times more than the simple shaker. Fleur de sel from France. Himalayan salt in shades of pink. Smoked sea salt, black volcanic salt, grey Celtic sea salt. Each with its own story, packaging, and promise of something special. And yes, they really do differ in appearance and sometimes taste. The colour comes from small amounts of minerals like iron or magnesium. The texture can be grainy, flaky, or even crunchy. Some salts add a slight bitterness, others a subtle mineral note. In the kitchen, that can make a difference. A steak topped with a few flakes of sea salt really benefits from the crunch and mouthfeel. But when it comes to health, it hardly matters. Those extra minerals are present in such tiny amounts, they barely affect your body. To get enough magnesium from Himalayan salt, you'd have to eat kilos per day, something that would make you sick rather than healthy. Health, the biggest misconceptions. And here lies the core of many misunderstandings. Many consumers think that natural salt is automatically healthier than refined table salt. But let's be honest, salt is salt. Whether it comes from a mine or the sea, it is almost always sodium chloride. And too much sodium raises blood pressure, no matter if it's pink, grey or white. Moreover, many people forget that regular table salt often contains iodine added to prevent diseases. In the 20th century, millions worldwide suffered from iodine deficiency, leading to goiters and other thyroid problems. Iodized salt was a simple and cheap solution. And here's an important point. You need to read the label carefully. Many cheap salts contain anti-caking agents to keep them free-flowing. That sounds convenient, but those additives are far from healthy and add nothing nutritionally. Want pure salt? Then it's smart to check the label and choose consciously. The irony? Those switching to natural sea salt or Himalayan salt without iodine may actually risk more deficiencies. What feels healthy can quietly be less healthy. And the word natural? It sounds wonderful, but it's misleading. Cyanide is natural, arsenic too. Natural means nothing about whether something is good for you. Yet it's used in salt marketing as if it were a quality seal. Comparisons with other products. This game of perception versus reality isn't limited to salt. The food industry plays the same trick over and over. Sugar. Brown cane sugar, coconut sugar, agave syrup, all sold as healthier alternatives. But in the end, they're sugars that affect your blood sugar similarly. The difference lies mainly in colour, taste and packaging, just like salt. Superfoods, goji berries, chia seeds, spirulina. Each comes with stories of unique nutrients or ancient traditions. Yes, they contain vitamins and minerals, but often in amounts you could get just as well from an apple, broccoli, or a handful of nuts. The difference isn't nutritional, but the story built around them. Coffee and water. The same goes here. Where coffee was once simply a hot drink, now there are single origin beans, cold brew special editions, and €10 bags for 250 grams. And water? Once just from the tap, now there's Alpine spring water, Icelandic glacier water, even purified rainwater, sold for several euros per bottle. In the end, it's all H2O. And that's only the tip of the iceberg. There are so much products and so many stories tell, but they are for the coming up videos. Back to salt taste and experience. Where there is difference. Does this mean expensive salts are worthless? Absolutely not. They have their place. A flake of fleur de sel slowly melting on a piece of chocolate can truly elevate a dish. A few black Kala Namak crystals can add an eggy aroma to a vegan meal. These sensations are real and enrich the eating experience. But that's different from health. You don't pay for extra nutrients, you pay for experience, texture, mouthfeel, and sometimes aesthetics. And that's fine as long as you're aware of it. The marketing machine behind salt. Why do people still buy expensive jars en masse? Because of the story. A simple white pack of salt doesn't sell itself. But a jar of crystals from the ancient Himalayas, rich in minerals from prehistoric times, suddenly sounds magical. Imagine if labels truly said what's inside. 99.9% sodium chloride, traces of other minerals with no health significance, possibly anti-caking agents, added, bulk produced and nicely packaged. Nobody would buy that. So the industry chooses words like pure, natural, mineral-rich words that give us a feeling, even if the story behind them isn't always true. If you find these hidden stories about everyday products fascinating, the tricks and illusions hidden in our food, don't forget to like and subscribe. Click that bell icon so you get notified for the next video, because believe me, there are many more surprises in your kitchen cupboard that can change your worldview. What should you choose now? Ultimately, it depends on what matters most to you. If you want cheap, practical salt to cook pasta or bake bread, regular table salt is perfect. If you want experience and an extra dimension in finishing dishes, a small jar of fleur de sel or pink salt can be worthwhile. Not because it makes you healthier, but because it gives your food that little something extra. White crystals or white lies. Salt may be small and simple, but it tells a big story. A story about history, trade, health and marketing. And maybe the lesson is this: it's not just about the product, but also about the story around it. Whether salt, sugar or superfoods, the same trick is used again and again. A small difference is made big and you pay for it. So next time you stand in front of that shelf in the supermarket, ask yourself, am I paying for taste and experience or for a cleverly packaged illusion? Salt is no longer white gold. Sometimes it's just a white lie.